I've been collecting phonographs for 40 years. And I have to say, this machine that I picked up last week is probably the most unique and bizarre record player I have ever come across. Pretty crude, made like a 1920s phonograph. Reproducer and tone arm are all one unit, cast pot metal. It's got maybe 4-inch platter. The reason it looks like a 20s phonograph is that it uses all old materials. There's no plastic in it whatsoever. It's all metal. Has a pillar and post motor from England. It says made in England on it. The turntable is cast metal like they did back in the 20s. I'll tell you a little bit about the history in a little bit here, but I come to find out that this machine was made in 1953. The label on the inside, which survived luckily, says Gospel Recordings Incorporated. And what this tells me is that this machine was meant to spread the gospel on records. So I later found out that the company is based in Australia, and the label on the inside of the phonograph said Australia and Los Angeles. It still exists. And it was designed by a guy named Stuart Mill. And he designed this and another one that's a direct crank, so it doesn't have a spring barrel in it. It just has a governor, and you crank it to play the record. Now the lid here, it fits on the top. It also fits on the lid on the bottom. And it's got these spring-loaded chains in there. I still haven't figured out exactly what they do. I suspect it has to do with record storage and carrying, but I still haven't figured it out. To say this thing is crude is an understatement. I mean, it literally looks like a cake tin with a record player built into it. The needle cup is made out of a bottle cap that has a hole in it. It's got threads along the edge and reeds in it, so you can so your fingers don't slip. But that's a repurposed bottle cap. I had this machine apart when I first got it. The horn opening had flattened out because someone had dropped it. So I took it apart. Easy to take apart. There's a nut on the middle, and then it lifts off. And I took about an hour to straighten it out, and I put it back together. But I think it's interesting. I can't imagine many of these survived. I bet a number of them were made, but it's basically made to play records out in an area where there's no electricity. Sound is not the best. I did clean the motor a little bit. It really needs to be ultrasound cleaned and new oil. I put new oil in it, but it needs to be cleaned properly. But I will play a record for you. Looks like it's all original. The paint wasn't ever that good to begin with, and when you look closely at it, there's a lot of runs in the paint. So this was made on a budget. Anyway, I'm going to play a record from the 20s. I already wound it, so I don't have to do that, but... Yeah, see, the motor's not that. Yeah, see, it's not very consistent, but we'll see what it does. Not very impressive. You get the idea. It needs work. More lubrication, but it's... Hey, there we go. I think it sounds okay for what it is. Yeah. He's given up the ghost, so very unique machine. I only paid $30 for it. It's interesting to find something made in Australia in the States. Hey, leave comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever seen one before. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching.